Hello, buddy, and welcome to a tropical update here. Again, apologies for the little gap yesterday and my updates here, and this is probably going to be a really long update here. So I guess sit back and relax here because this is going to be probably a long one here, probably maybe at least 15 minutes at the very minimum I would predict here in this update here. But this is a wide view of the Atlantic right now, and you can see what's currently going on. We got the remnants of what used to be a tropical depression Rene. We have tropical storm Teddy that also just recently formed, and then to the east of that, we also have recently formed tropical storm Vicky that also formed. Then of course we got Hurricane Paulette, which has strengthened a little bit here, and we also have um, Hurricane Sally, which is also developed, and we got two areas of interest here, one in the western Gulf of Mexico, and then we got another one that's going to come off of Africa really soon here, and also has a decent sense of formation. And off your screen, we also have Tropical Storm Karina that formed in the Gulf of Mexico, not the Gulf of Mexico, in the Eastern Pacific, I should say. That fortunately, poses no threat to land whatsoever at this point. And here's a wide view of, well, not the wide view, but here's a look at Hurricane Paulette right now. So this is the newest update from the National Hurricane Center here as of September 14th, 2020. As of 5 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, advisory 32. The storm is currently located at 34.5 degrees north, 63.8 degrees west, with maximum sustained 1 minute winds estimated to be at 105 miles per hour, making this a Category 2 hurricane here. And it's moving to the north-northeast at 15 miles per hour here, as you can see in the latest update now. In this newest update, the National Hurricane Center is forecasting Paulette to peak as a 125 mile per hour Category 3 hurricane, which is the highest you could possibly reach for Category 3 hurricane status before it reach Category 4 status. Category 4 is when a storm reaches 130 miles per hour, all the way up to 155 miles per hour is Category 4 status. So knocking on the doorstep of Category 4 status at the new peak intensity forecast from the National Hurricane Center in its newest update. Fortunately, though, the storm is forecast to stay away from land at this point. It's only going to be a threat for any boaters or any people that are along the coastline here, and an increased rip current and tide risk for you guys here in Atlantic Canada. So just be on the lookout for that. Just stay away from the coastline for the next few days here as the storm passes on through. And other than that, you guys should probably be fine here. And eventually, Paulette takes a dig more to the south here on the last few parts of this forecast graphic here. So it'll be interesting to see if it tries to reform back into a tropical storm here, tropical entity here or not, as it nears the Azores here later on down into into the late this week here. So just keep an eye on that there for you guys in the Azores there, and just be aware of that. Here's a look at Paulette right now on satellite imagery right now. You can see Paulette looking pretty good right now. Of course, you see that eye that formed earlier, and now it's being obscured now by some new bursts of convection right around the center of circulation there, as you can see. And the eye passed right over the island of Bermuda earlier this morning. The island of Bermuda right there, being in white right there, passed right over the island of Bermuda as a Category 1 hurricane. Um, and caused some damage there and has. I believe last I was aware of, there was about 20,000 people without, well, not 20,000 people, but 20,000 customers, I should say, without power on the island of Bermuda, as far as I know, so far from Hurricane Paulette. And quickly, here's a little look at the remnants of what used to be a tropical depression Rene that dissipated in this newest update. Again, poses really no threat to anybody here out in the open Atlantic, safe from all land masses here. Really only a threat for any boaters to happen to be in the immediate vicinity of this storm, really. And again, it's dissipated at this point in time, so it's going to be much more of a threat for any boaters that are near the area where Rene used to be here. And here's a look at the infrared imagery of what used to be tropical depression Rene here, and you can easily see why the National Hurricane Center degraded this now to the remnants of tropical depression Rene. As you can see, convection that fired over near the center of circulation has gone sheared away, and now it's not over the center of circulation, or not near the center of circulation, I should say. So now the center of circulation is out in the open with no convection around it. So that hence why the National Hurricane Center degraded this now to the remnants of tropical depression Rene. Now here's a look at the big story for the U.S. side, the U.S. side of things right now in terms of tropical activity here. Hurricane Sally, as of this newest update, as of 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, advisory number 14. Center is currently located at 28.8 degrees north, 87.4 degrees west with maximum sustained 1-minute winds at 100 miles per hour, making us a Category 2 hurricane here on the Saffir-Simpson scale. Wind to the west-northwest at 6 miles per hour, unfortunately slowing down a little bit at landfall here. Stalling is not forecast in the forecast at this point in time, but of course keep an eye on this because of course things can change. But right now, I must stress um, the storm is not at this point in time at least forecast to stall. However, that being said, it is forecast to slow down a little bit as it nears landfall, unfortunately, so that gives it a chance to cause even more damage to the coastlines of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and parts of the Florida Panhandle here with time. So it's going to be a flooding threat, storm surge threat, and even a wind threat if it reaches the intensity of the National Hurricane Center forecast to reach the National Hurricane Center forecast Sally to peak as a 110 mile per hour Category 2 hurricane before landfall. Here. Somewhere it looks like on Wednesday morning, early Wednesday morning or late Tuesday night. Looks like on the National Hurricane Center forecast cone, depending on where it decides to make landfall. Again, going off this cone, this can make landfall anywhere from extreme western parts of the Florida Panhandle to parts of southeastern Louisiana here. So just please keep an eye on this storm carefully here throughout the next 24 to 48 hours here as it decides, as it gets closer to land here, I should say. And again, forecast to make a or peak as a 110 mile per hour Category 2 hurricane, which is the highest it could possibly reach for Category 2 hurricane status. If we go higher than that, 115 miles per hour, then you reach Category 3 hurricane threshold there. So it'll be interesting to see if the National Hurricane Center raised the peak intensity here throughout the next coming hours here, if the storm decides to continue intensifying here before landfall, or if they keep it at 110 miles per hour pretty much till landfall here. Be interesting to see. Um, Here's a look at the key messages for Hurricane Sally here, as you can see. You can stop the video right now and read that. I know the text is a little bit small, so make sure you have my video set at 1080p, and you'll be able to probably see the little text in there a little bit better. And this is, again, the English version of this, and it gives you just the main key messages here for the hurricane here. And here's the Spanish version of that as well. And you can stop the video, of course, right now and read that if you want to as well. And again, make sure you have the video set to 1080p so you can see the text with the utmost clarity here, with the best clarity here. And here's the peak surge estimated peak surge graphic here from the National Hurricane Center. As you can see, a maximum surge looks to be up to 11 feet in parts of Louisiana there, so it's not going to be a really good situation at all for portions of the Gulf Coast here, unfortunately, with this storm. And of course, there's some text below that as well. You could read that as well, and you could stop the video right now and read either the text below that or look at this graphic more in detail here. And stop the video right now and read that if you want to. And then here's estimated rainfall from the Weather Prediction Center. Guess it doesn't want to load. There it is. As you can see, rainfall up to looks like over 15 inches is forecast from Hurricane Sally here. Unfortunately, in parts of Louisiana, parts of Mississippi, and parts of Alabama, and maybe even parts of extreme western Florida here in the Panhandle. Perhaps they are looking off of this graphic here. So this is a really concerning graphic here from the Weather Prediction Center, as you can see. And then here's the flash flooding potential graphic as well too, if you want to stop the video right now and look at that as well. So that is a look at Hurricane Sally on the graphics. Here's a look at Hurricane Sally on satellite imagery here, and you can see a classic textbook intensifying hurricane here, and you can see that real deep convection here over 80 degrees over negative 80 degrees Celsius here, cloud tops here, which is really indicative of an intensifying storm here, unfortunately, here as it looks like it's trying to form an eye-like feature on satellite imagery right now. It's already visible on radar imagery, but on satellite imagery, it looks like it's trying to become more pronounced on there with time. And of course, it's forecast to peak as a 110 mile per hour Category 2 hurricane, a high-end Category 2 hurricane here, as it nears landfall along the Gulf Coast of the United States here, unfortunately. And then quickly, here's a look at Tropical Storm Teddy that was recently named earlier this morning. You can see the center is currently located at 13.0 degrees north, 44.0 degrees west. Maximum sustained 1-minute winds estimated to be at 50 miles per hour. Moving due west at 14 miles per hour as of our 5 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time advisory number 9. And Teddy is forecast to peak as a 120 mile per hour Category 3 hurricane out in the open Atlantic. I would also say for Bermuda to keep an eye on this storm as well. Unfortunately, it looks like if the track holds and Of course, the track could easily change. It could shift more south, more east, more north, etc. here. So just keep an eye on this forecast cone over the next coming days for you guys in Bermuda, because perhaps, and this is again really far down the line here, perhaps you guys may be getting unfortunately, another decent hurricane impact here for you guys in Bermuda, which you guys, of course, don't need after going through Paulette not too long ago, a few hours ago this morning here. So hopefully it stays far out to sea here, away from you guys. But of course, just keep an eye on this for you guys in Bermuda here that are watching the tropics here. Just keep an eye on this storm here over the next coming days as the situation progresses. And here's a look at Tropical Storm Teddy on infrared imagery right now. As you can see, an organizing storm right now, again with 50 miles per hour, forecast to peak as a 120-mile-per-hour Category 3 hurricane from the latest National Hurricane Center outlook, which makes it, of course, a uh, potent Category 3 hurricane here. Now let's take a look at Tropical Storm Vicky, which also recently formed this morning as well. As you can see, poses really no threat to land whatsoever at this point. It's moving away from the Cabo Verde Islands, fortunately, right now. So if there is any bad conditions being felt from Tropical Storm Vicky, they should be going away really soon here as the storm moves away from you guys. As you can see, Vicky is forecast to stay out to sea, and right now has 45 mile per hour winds um, with a movement northwest at 7 miles per hour, with the center currently located at 19.3 degrees north, 29.5 degrees west, as you can see there. And the National Hurricane Center in their newest forecast cone for this storm, they forecast Vicky to be pretty much at its peak strength at this point in time, and forecast to be weakening from this point on and eventually dissipating. It looks like by about 5 p.m. Friday. It looks like on this graphic. And here's a look at Vicky on infrared imagery off of GO 16. As you can see, a really sheared system right now, but regardless, a tropical storm, which makes it which gives it the name, of course, Vicky. So this is Tropical Storm Vicky right now on satellite imagery. As you can see, again, a really sheared system, but still, regardless, a tropical storm on infrared imagery there. And quickly, here's a look at Tropical Storm Karina, which recently formed. Again, forecast to stay away from land, which is really good news to see. We don't want another storm threatening land at this point, especially for you guys that went through Genevieve here on the Baja California coastline not too long ago, about a month ago, give or take. So definitely good news to see that this storm is staying out to sea, and again forecast to stay out to sea, and eventually it looks like dissipate or turn into at least a tropical depression at about 5 a.m. Thursday or Friday there, as you can see on the latest forecast cone, I mean, for the National Hurricane Center. And here's a quick look at infrared imagery for Tropical Storm Karina. You can see Karina is a sheared system here, as you can see, and again, like I said, forecast to fortunately stay away from all land masses at this point in time, and only be really an issue for any boaters that happen to be in the immediate vicinity of this tropical storm. And in terms of other areas of interest here, we got an area of interest in the western Gulf of Mexico here. Disturbance number one, throughout the next 48 hours, has a low 10% chance of formation, and formation chance of the next 5 days, a low 20% chance of formation, as you can see there. An aircraft reconnaissance plane is scheduled to investigate this area of interest here, I believe, tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, I believe, is forecast to reach the storm. And then disturbance number two has a 20% chance of formation throughout the next 48 hours, and the next 5 days, a medium 50% chance of formation, as it came off of the African coastline not too long ago there, as you can see on my graphic. And of course, there's the respective forecast discussions right there below that if you want to stop the video right now and read that. And I believe that's about it here. I'm just checking through all my tabs to make sure I didn't forget anything. Oh yes, the key messages for Hurricane Paulette here. Of course, you guys can stop the video right now and read this if you want to. The key messages for Hurricane Paulette, I mean, not tropical storm, Hurricane Paulette, I mean, as you can see. And of course, there's again the latest forecast cone from the National Hurricane Center. Like I said, forecast peak as a high-end Category 3 hurricane here. And there's the wide view of the Atlantic right now, and it's really remarkable to see how we have all this activity currently going on. Of course, as we are pretty much at peak part of the hurricane season, peak activity date, I should say, of the hurricane season here. So it makes sense how we're having a lot of activity, but this much activity is kind of crazy to see here. All this activity currently going on. Um, and with the formations of tropical storms Vicky and Teddy, also marks the earliest formation date for the T and the V name storm in the Atlantic Basin. Of course, the previous records were set by Hurricane Vince, and when that formed on October 9th, 2005. And then for the T name, storm was set by Tropical Storm Tammy on October 5th, 2005 when that formed. So they easily beat out the previous record set by the tropical cyclones Tammy and Vince respectively from the 2005 hurricane season. So two record-breaking storms in their own right here. Um, just really remarkable to see this happening here. And again, two record-breaking storms in their own right here. It remains to be seen if this wave behind it also decides to be named here. And if that gets named, it'll be called, I believe it'll be called Wilfred. If that gets named, this area of interest here in that just came off of Africa there. And remember to get official information here. Always look at the National Weather Service here. Just type up nws.noaa.gov, just type up weather.gov, just type up NWS, and it'll probably be the first search result that you see here. And again, it'll have all this good information here. When you know in the correct page, you'll see all this good information. To say you live in New Orleans, click over here for New Orleans. It'll take you to the forecast office for New Orleans and Baton Rouge, and it'll have all this key information here to prepare yourself for this hurricane here if you haven't done so already. You should have done so already, but if you haven't done so already, there's all the crucial information. And of course, you can stop the video right now and read that if you want to. And say you don't live in New Orleans, but you say, I don't know, you live in Baton Rouge, you can click over there for Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and it'll give you a 5-day graphical forecast here, and it'll give you a 7-day detailed text forecast below that, as you can see there. And they also have a hourly weather forecast as well here, as you can see. So you can plan your day out and plan your preparations out hour by hour here as the situation progresses on with time here. And then, of course, for the National Hurricane Center, just type up nhc.noaa.gov, and of course, you'll know on the correct page when you see all this crucial life-saving information right in front of your fingertips here to inform you on what's currently going on in the world of the tropics here right now. And again, just type up nhc.noaa.gov, just type up NHC, and it'll probably be the first search result that you see there on whatever search browser or search engine you're using there for the Atlantic Basin here. So again, that's about it for me. I apologize for how long this update is. I know it's probably a really long update, maybe the longest update I've ever done for the tropics here. So I apologize for the length of this update, and I apologize if I may have talked a little bit too fast or stuttered a little bit here with time, so I apologize with that. But again, make sure you guys are hurricane prepared, especially you guys on the Gulf Coast. Make sure where Hurricane Sally, make sure you're prepared for it, and just make sure you hunker down for it, really, and listen to your local officials. Again, I'm not a certified meteorologist or certified or professional meteorologist by any means here, so take my opinions as you are. Again, I have the links down in the description right now below this video here to see the most recent and accurate information on all this tropical activity currently going on in Atlantic here and elsewhere. So please take a look at those links for the best crucial information here and life-saving information here as the situation progresses on with time. And of course, I apologize for this if this update was a bit rushed here, or if it was a bit too long for you guys to listen here, because there's a lot of activity here. So again, I apologize for that. Of course, if you have any comments or any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability, of course. And again, of course, like I said, links will be on the bottom of the description of this video here, so you can get all your official information here and listen to your local officials here with time as the situation progresses here. So again, hope everybody has a great day in that regard. Stay safe, of course. Till then, see you guys on the next video. Stay safe and peace.